So we have a little bit of an update in the Fortnite lawsuits that we talked about. I don't even know how long ago it's been at this point, but this has been something that's been going on for months now. The lawsuits against Epic Games over them putting different emotes in Fortnite that are based on popular dances and pop culture references and things like that. Well, we finally have some lawyers talking about, you know, they're actually kind of talking back and forth, I guess you could say, between the represented people in the case, like 2Milli, the guy behind the Milli Rock, Alfonso, you know, the guy who, well, I guess popularized the Carlton, I should say. Wait, did I forget to say his last name? Alfonso Ribeiro. I don't know why I forgot to say his last name. That's kind of weird, but it looks like this is finally going to start getting ugly in court, at least, because now the lawyers are actually going back and forth. They're trying to plead their cases. Well, I don't think they're actually pleading it to the judge yet, but this is more or less them kind of arguing it out for the publications, like the media, things like that. So they're not in court yet, but what you're going to be seeing is basically the arguments that they will be using in court against one another. So anyways, if you're unfamiliar about this whole thing, Epic Games, the people who made Fortnite, have been dealing with lawsuits coming from several popular celebrities and things like that, kind of regarding the emotes and things that they're putting into the game. The three main lawsuits that are going down, or at least the three main plaintiffs in this case, include 2Milli, the guy who came up with the Milli Rock, which was interpreted in Fortnite as the Swipe It dance, the Backpack Kid, whose Floss dance ended up in Fortnite as well, and Alfonso Ribeiro, because the Carlton also ended up in Fortnite. So these are the three main cases that they're currently dealing with. This is going to go to court, and this is going to set a huge precedent, so it's a pretty important case. So Epic Games has officially asked the judge to dismiss the lawsuit against them, so I guess that's really the only court talk that we've actually gotten so far, as the case isn't in trial or anything yet. So their argument is actually that the Milli Rock is too short to be copyrighted, and that it isn't even the same as the dance in Fortnite, which was the Swipe It. Epic is calling 2Milli's lawsuit fundamentally at odds with free speech principles, and that the ownership being asserted by the rapper does not exist under current law. No one can own a dance step, the motion reads. Copyright law is clear that individual dance steps and simple dance routines are not protected by copyright, but rather are building blocks of free expression which are in the public domain for choreographers, dancers, and the general public to use, perform, and enjoy. They kind of have a point here. You can't really copyright a dance itself. I mean, you can like copyright performances of dances and things like that in concert performance, like the videos and stuff that come from that, but I mean, you can't really enforce a copyright on a dance. Like any dance really in the last 10 years has gone so viral that millions of people did it. How are you going to really enforce that kind of copyright where you just hunt down millions of people who make videos for the internet and monetize it and things like that? It's never going to work. 2Milli's lawyer actually is disputing that. He's saying that they didn't seek a copyright registration of a move, but rather a choreographic work. He says that Epic has infringed that work. The question is not whether Epic's infringing emote is protectable. The lawsuit is about whether the swipe emote infringes my client's rights, which it undoubtedly does. Now, the next paragraph of this article says, the US Copyright Office distinguishes between simple dance moves, which can't be copyrighted, and more complex patterns of movement, which can be. The US Copyright Office cannot register short dance routines consisting of only a few movements or steps with minor linear or spatial variations, even if a routine is novel or distinctive. It isn't clear if the Milli Rock even clears that threshold. Now, here's my personal opinion on this. The Milli Rock really isn't that complex of a dance, okay? At the bare minimum, all you have to do is swing your arms across your chest, you know? It's nothing huge. I mean, if you were gonna talk about like Michael Jackson's entire Thriller dance, you know, all the way through, that's different because it's multiple moves. It's not like a 2-second dance, it's something that you actually have to go through and do. It's gonna take a little bit longer, and on top of that, more work has to be put in, and it's actually like several dances all combined into one. The Milli Rock is just, it's very simple, okay? So I don't think it's going to clear that threshold to be really a copyrightable material. So I don't know if this case is going to really work out in their favor, because, I mean, if you can't get the copyright and you can't prove that Epic infringed on any copyright or anything, you're simply just not going to win in court. There's no way that they're going to rule in your favor if you can't prove that they have actually infringed on a copyright or even on your rights. Now, in their defense, Fortnite honestly should have just paid these people. They should have gotten their permission and then just gave them a cut of however much, that the thing sold. That probably would have just avoided all the lawsuits in general, but they don't have to because these moves aren't copyrighted, so you can't really copyright a dance move. How can you really sue for copyright infringement or anything like that? And I mean, if you're Epic and you realize that this move is going to make you a ton of money if you sell the emote, and it's not copyrighted, why wouldn't you put it in the game? I get the moral behind it, like, yeah, you're profiting off of someone else's work, and yeah, you should have paid them and whatnot, but I mean, as a business, you have to think about it from Epic's perspective. Why would they do that? Why would you ever just basically give somebody money when you don't have to if you're a business? That's not how businesses work. Epic does have a little bit further of an argument. They literally went all the way in with this one. Like, they even went all the way into the move itself and choreograph and everything. Their main argument is that the dance in Fortnite, the swipe emote or the swipe it emote, it isn't even the same dance as the Millie Rock. According to their description of the Millie Rock, they're saying that the dance actually consists of a side step to the right while swinging the left arm horizontally across the chest to the right, and then reversing the same movement onto the other side. It's a bit ridiculous. It feels weird to read out, Epic's definition of the Millie Rock, but Epic then describes the swipe it emote as using swipe it, which is performed at a moderate tempo. An avatar pivots on the balls and heels of its feet, not stepping side to side. At the same time, the avatar swipes its arms back and forth, sometimes using a straight horizontal arc across the chest, and at other times starting below the hips and then traveling in a diagonal arc across the body up to the shoulder. The arm movements are not consistently across the avatar's chest. The torso of the avatar turns to the side in a 3/4 view as the arm swipes, but the ribs remain in place. The emote also features bent wrists and a rolling motion of the hands and forearms. Let's call it how it is, and of course Epic isn't going to admit this in court because that pretty much defeats most of their argument, okay? This dance is completely based on the Millie Rock. Whether it's a perfect imitation of it or not, the dance is basically the Millie Rock. That's what they were going for the whole time. There is no disputing that if you're a normal person, But I mean, Epic's lawyers aren't going to be like, yeah, basically we based the whole dance off of the Millie Rock, and on top of that, we actually copied the Millie Rock, and we definitely made money off of it, so please come beat us in court. That's just not how lawyers work. I mean, if Epic killed 13 people, the lawyers would still be saying they didn't do it. So there are differences between the two dances. They weren't enough to stop fans from recognizing it. No shit. That's not a shocker to anybody here. But the truth is that the law hasn't been tested like this before. Okay, and there really hasn't been a case like this where, a video game has caused so much controversy because of a dance emote, but whether or not Epic wins, this lawsuit is going to set a massive precedent in the future of emotes and microtransactions, because most games on the market, well, at least major games now, are selling emotes or something like that. They're selling emotes and microtransactions, and a lot of them are based off of like real world things. If Epic wins this suit, basically they have free reign to do that all day long, especially with dances, because obviously they weren't copyrighted and things like that. So, but if they lose this case, you're not going to be seeing a lot of these emotes that are, that you've seen in movies before, that you've seen musicians do, anything like that. Nothing really that recognizable, kind of just basic little emotes. So this is a big case. It is important that it gets covered, and it is important that, a precedent really does get set out of this case. And the way I've always seen this is that nobody, or at least these people who are suing, so like 2 Millie, Alfonso Ribeiro, and the Backpack Kid, they didn't care, okay, before Epic was making billions of dollars. Alfonso Ribeiro admitted that he didn't come up with the Carlton, that he copied it, okay? The Backpack Kid, I think, also did not make the floss. The Orange Shirt Kid, who made the Orange Justice, he didn't come up with that dance at all. That was made by some goth kids under a bridge. I think 2 Millie is the only one who actually made what they're suing for, the Millie Rock. You know what I'm saying? I think he's the only one who actually came up with it. The other three are literally trying to basically get copyrights and make money off of things that they never created or that they never made. I never knew the Orange Shirt Kid didn't make the Orange Justice until recently. I actually thought that he came up with that, but no, he did not. This whole thing is about money. There's nothing else that it's about, okay? They didn't care when Epic wasn't making money. They only care now because Fortnite's the biggest game on the planet and it's making billions. And people are pointing Epic Games out for their morals of taking quote-unquote someone else's work and making money off of it, but don't realize that pretty much 3/4 of the people who are suing right now didn't create those works in the first place, so where are their morals when it comes down to suing a company over something that you didn't make and trying to copyright something you didn't create? You know, where's your morals then? And another thing that I've always found funny is these guys didn't care when some of their dances were being put into other games. Forza Horizon actually ended up taking out a dance move from Alfonso Ribeiro. I think it was actually the Carlton that they had in the game, and they took it out, okay? Are you suing Forza? Are you gonna go sue Microsoft and Xbox and all them? I mean, the way I see it is if you really care about the whole situation, why don't you go after everybody who's putting your dances in the game? Or not even your dances, the ones that you made popular because you stole. That's just the way I see it. I mean, I understand that, you know, Epic should have done this and they should have done that, but at the end of the day, they're a business, they don't have to, they're not going to. But this is all about greed, it's all about people trying to make a quick buck, that's all it really comes down to. I mean, I personally, I don't see these lawsuits going against Epic. I think Epic is going to win these lawsuits, and then again, I'm no law major or anything, so. But just in my personal opinion, on my understanding of copyright and the situation at hand, I simply don't see Epic losing. I hope the judge kind of takes everything into account, and I hope we get a decision that in the end is the best for everybody. But I mean, if you're one of these people who buys these emotes and stuff in video games, I'd be a little bit nervous right now, because if Epic loses, you know, you're not going to be buying very many Millie Rock emotes in Fortnite anymore. Let me know what you guys think down below. I know you guys probably have mixed opinions on this, so I'd like to see what you guys have to say down below. But thank you guys for watching this video. If you did enjoy, as always, make sure to leave a like on it, subscribe if you're brand new around here on my channel, follow me on Twitter at @SubToOptimus. I post memes, thoughts, and updates. It's also a surefire way to get all the newest notifications for all my content. Join the Discord down below. It is another surefire way to get notifications of my content. Lots of great things going on there. Thank you to my channel members for your $5 a month. Your support helps my channel tremendously. And until my next video, guys, this is Optimus getting sued over an emote and signing out.